Mr. Santosh Singh, with great pleasure, I'm inviting you to kindly share your views.
Thank you so much, Atul Ji. First of all, I feel completely out of the place in the league of big luminaries you have. But
No,
I will.
not at all. Not at all. You are a veteran, sir. Yes,
I
not
will
at all.
surely give you some field perspective. One gentleman just was talking about that farmers are not having pride in being farmers. I'm just reminded of an old song from my childhood. Even I think your childhood, you would have listened to that song. कि तोहरो बलमुआ कप्तान सुन के सजनी हमरो बलमुआ किसान. Uh, it was the radio days.
Videsiya song.
Yeah, you used to listen to
Yes.
those songs. So we need to have that sense of pride in farming. Yes, if I take the three terms of Nitish Kumar, I can't say कि nothing has happened. So many things have happened. Say, in the first phase, he did very good with, I think, roads and bridges. The first term goes to roads and bridges, second term to politics, and third term, I would say it will go to energy. So, but my moot question is, why does a government need three terms to just to complete the basics? It is not a government job. It's politics. Three terms as a chief minister, Bihar should have taken to next level of development. That is the next level of development we are here to talk about. I just recall a conversation with the late Arun Jaitley. It was something during 2010 Assembly election at a posh Patna hotel. I was just talking about how Patna can be connected to Muzaffarpur, Hajipur. It can be developed as industrial hub, educational hub. Something like Noida is to Delhi. Hajipur and Muzaffarpur could have been to Patna. But nothing sort of that happened in all those years. We have so many things. When I move around, if you talk about Sasaram, we have a great variety of paddy. We have makhana. Now, you know it all. We have good variety of potato, tomato, lychee. Often government talks land acquisition is a big problem. I agree, land acquisition is a big problem in Bihar. But I have a question. How about the first chief minister, first Bihar chief minister, Dr. Sri Krishna Singh? How could you have 13 as many as 13 industrial units in Begusai? Just one district. You can say he was produced, you gave it all to his own district. That's a different debate. If he could do, okay, you can say it was the time of first 5-year plan, second 5-year plan, so many things were happening. But after that, whatever Sri Krishna Singh did, after that, no signs of industrialization. So we took another turn. The socialist now ruled Bihar for last 30 years. Where is the development index? I do not want to go into those calculation, mathematics and figures, but I just want to know why we are just talking about basics. Bijli, sadak, pani. How long after these many years of development, these many independence, we are talking about the basics. So what I want to say, if I go to say small industrial area of Hajipur, during lockdown, an entrepreneur called me. We have a small bakery unit and we have local variety of bread, and we are producing so much these days because all the branded ones are closed. They are not able to send their product. You just imagine if a product, a local product, can sell very well during lockdown. Why can't you promote your own product? Why do you wait for that? It's just a small fragmented example. So same can happen with, okay, fine. I agree that big industrial units would have problem to come in Bihar because of still they need much better infrastructure than they can get in other states. But how about small and medium scale industries? What helps you from starting a potato chips unit, some biscuit units, makhana processing units? Entire as many as 18 districts of Bihar are maize belt. We have great potential. You can produce poultry feeds here. Why do you need to send it to Haryana, Rajasthan, or other places, or West Bengal? So a lot of potential. It's just about exploring. We have been talking so much about basics. Yes, and another point I should not be missing that I think another gentleman talked about the quality of education. Yes, he talked about the how Olympiads, people, our students getting through Olympiad are not being nursed, not being preserved by the state. That's correct. But we should also think of coming back to our roots. We should not leave everything to government. We have to take to the dust and grind of Bihar. If you want to make something happen, it is as much our responsibility. I started my career from Delhi, but I came to Bihar in 2006. Now I can say I can cover the entire period of Nitish Kumar. I didn't cover period of Lalu Prasad because of all the obvious reasons, massacre, bad misrule and all. Now things are happening. Uh, yes, you can argue that Nitish Kumar often says that we have our GSDP, gross state domestic project, that is much better than that is only because of your secondary and tertiary level of growth. How about your primary sector agriculture? You never. It was only because of the growth in telecommunication and the growth in real estate in the first or second tenure of Nitish Kumar. But after that, no, it has gone static. So we are somewhere stuck up. We have to come out of this rut, and we have to come out with some out of box ideas. It can start at a very primary level, some small makhana unit, some potato units, some small industry where we can engage people. Now the prime minister is talking about rural post COVID. So many things have changed. We are talking about rural economy, boosting rural economy. But what I am saying, a piecemeal approach will not work. If you are offering some 300 rupees to a worker, a labor, who gets some 800, 900 per day elsewhere, you cannot sustain, you cannot hold them for here for a long time. So we have to think of a much more sustainable model than thinking of symbolism. Atul, I can take supplementary question. I'm not very good at that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Most remarkable views. You have rightly mentioned about the ski industries and problems facing the state government regarding land acquisition. Can I ask a question using my prerogative as a moderator?
Yes, sure.
Can you please take a few questions from me? Not academic questions, for sure.
Sure.
We have lots of ski industries spanning across, be it Dalmia Nagar Industries or 6 sugar factories in Madhubani, Ashok Paper Mill, then Sakri Industry Economic Zone, which was set up by Darbhanga Maharaj long ago, and so many other parts, even Danapur and other places. So don't you think that the problem of land acquisition, much doubted problem, that land can't be acquired in Bihar for setting up a large project, is misplaced somewhere? Because
yes.
An industry like automobile hardly needs an upgraded infrastructure, and Bihar has certainly very formidable infrastructure if we compare with the greater Gurgaon, where most of the industries are parked, like Maruti and others. Why we missed the bus in getting the nano project to Bihar, and it was set up in Gujarat and trading quite well. So we can say that the state government had failed somewhere with having no development policy.
That is precisely my point. This is precisely my point. I completely endorse your point. You just forget about land acquisition for a while. You just resume those closed units, those sugar mills, those jute mills, those paper mills you talked about, even you talked about Dalmia Nagar. You revive those industries. You need to show some greater political will. Then just my problem starts when you just talk too much about Bijli Sadak Fund. It has been enough of it.
Enough, yes.
You should think of something out of box. It looks that present dispensation is running out of idea.
You know, I will cite you an example. I have written a lot about this particular aspect, reverse migration. Reverse migration, you have covered in great detail about this matter as well. Somewhere in the middle, Mr. Sushil Modi, the Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, had said that since Lalu Yadav and Rabri Devi had so many people are suffering, and that benchmarking was wild, in fact, because because as with some sane mind, one can't speak like this, that 25 years ago this didn't happen, so we are suffering with this. The fact remains that people, Biharis, had to walk from Mumbai to the districts of Bihar. And at the threshold, they faced not only inhuman treatment, instead getting hand-holding. It happened later on, but after getting the pressures from outside. Because you have seen everything at ground, would like to know your perspective on this, on cross migration, and how state government could not do well on this.
I can cite an example. I was just covering when migrants return. I was somewhere in Gopalganj at the interstate border. I saw a 28-year-old man from Araria. He was differently able, and he plied his hand rickshaw right from Delhi to that border point.
Yes.
And it took him.
And the cycle girls case from Gurgaon to Darbhanga.
Yeah, that several such stories. I asked him, "What do you do in Delhi?" He said, "I work in Ajadpur Mandi, and I just cut fish. I just get paid some 500-600 per day."
Yes.
I
remember reading your piece, sir.
I just asked him, couldn't you get that sort of job? I just imagine just a differently abled person going to Delhi and then returning. My question is, don't you have a job, something, a 500 per day job in the state for a differently abled person? He could have easily stayed back here. How can you hold back able person in the state? And the numbers, numbers were scary. Do not go by the government figure. I think by any stretch of imagination, it would not be less than 40 lakh people returned to the state. Those disenchanted people, and most of them were in the salary bracket of 7,000 to some, say, 10, 15,000 rupees per month. They returned. I asked them, would you go back? Would you stay there till election? No. We are not interested in election as soon as things get better. I'm just citing another example of a place called Pandol in Darbhanga, and some buses come at every interval. Madhubani. They send buses. Contractors send buses, and so many workers still they go on living, and some who are not called, they pay. And they also go back to their old places of work. Another example, I just talked to a contractor from Baka district. He said if some 15,000 workers are in contact with them, and their bosses told him, okay, get back those workers from Bihar as soon as possible. So how can Nitish Kumar often says, okay, people should not leave Bihar. If you want to leave for better work, you can leave. But we are trying to do things so that you can stay back in Bihar. These things would not work. You got some 15 years. You should have created some job opportunity, something to look forward to. I, as a father, I am not happy to have sent my son to Bangalore to study engineering in Bangalore.
Yes.
You say you have opened an engineering college for each district, all 38 district engineering college. But name me one engineering college where one can have confidence to get their ward admitted to. Not one. There are not enough teachers. So you have not created an institute of excellence, whether it is engineering, management. Okay, things of course get better, but you look big or bigger only because there was a person named Lalu Prasad. So why can't you compare yourself with Karnataka model? Why can't you use Gujarat model, even Maharashtra model? So because if he compares himself with all those states, then he would say I would say he's stuck somewhere with those basics. So we have to get over those basics and think something out of them.
Exactly. It's been a long actually, and Mr. Nitish Kumar can't go ahead with that same dichotomy that Bihar has so much talent and there's so much dearth of capacities. And I've been trying my level best to overcome those problems. Now the people are aspirational. If we are linking it with the Atmanirbharta, which is a pan-India concept now, And two factors which are glaring, and I think that should also the trails, like the question of a package, a special package for Bihar, which is still elusive, and whatever has been given can't be understood by any common person or even somebody with a great felicity, great command over economics or policies, because that's not existing anywhere. That's the fact. A second thing is rising cases of indebtedness, frustration, and suicides somewhere. These are alarming trends in Bihar, which we have never witnessed earlier. People of Bihar are ultimate incorrigible, and they are courageous. Even in the bad times, they uphold their basic moral. So this is an alarming trend. Since you will be on campaign trails very soon, and you will be traveling across